the coordinated crash. Today, we've got a perfect snapshot of the world that we're actually living in. Some could call it the desert of the real. For those of you Matrix fans, seeing the world as it really is, what's actually happening underneath the surface, not the one Washington and Wall Street pretend that you're living in. See, strategy and sailor, microstrategy, master, building a cash buffer, and it's got everyone freaking out. The coordinated crash, attacks from all sides, all worlds, all converging into one, because MicroStrategy knows what's coming. Sailor knows it's coming, volatility. Not because Bitcoin is failing, but because the legacy system is entering its panic cycle again. The panic cycle that repeats and repeats. Wall Street lives on fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Wall Street lives on manipulation. And right on cue, JP Morgan is out there manufacturing fear, uncertainty, and doubt, while simultaneously building Bitcoin products behind closed doors. This has been going on for 10 years. They talk trash on CNBC and build Bitcoin infrastructure in their boardrooms. That should tell you everything you need to know. And then you have the likes of Steve Hanke, the Peter Schiffs of the world. God love all of them, but all of them completely wrong. You have the Twitter ex-influencers, people out there who couldn't be more backwards in their thinking. Just two ships passing in the night. Or maybe they're paid off. Maybe they're actors in the game. Maybe they're on the chessboard. At the same time, Jerome Powell is expected to be removed, replaced, politically sidelined, what have you, as both parties prepare for lower rates heading into the midterms. Well, at least one party does. Trump, who does not want to enter 2026 as a lame duck, is preparing for a flood of liquidity to juice the economy and buy votes. They will print, they will ease, and they will pump risk assets, whether they want to admit it or not. Wall Street games, political incentives, incoming liquidity, and most importantly, what you can do to defend yourself, the tools, the health you need to have, the sovereignty, the mindset, and a Bitcoin team around you that actually gives you independence from this entire circus. Friends, family, loved ones, people around you, acquaintances, peers, because community is the number one aspect in a survival situation. At the end of the day, we are so sucked into this world, this fiat world, and this news-centered, oriented world and current events. Remember, current events trump future trends. The reason Bitcoiners are doing what they do and they see things so early on is because most Bitcoiners are truly focused on the long term. They're focused on low time preference, long-term thinking, delayed gratification. The average person, unfortunately, cannot, because they are in the fiat rat race, the hamster wheel. They are stuck on something that won't allow them the time to get off and see what's actually happening, see the game they're playing. And again, you have to be careful with Matrix quotes, but they are hopelessly inured in the system, and they will fight you to stay in it. At the end of the day, we are what we think about. Fiat wants you scared. The fiat system, that is, wants you scared, distracted, and reactive. Bitcoin gives you clarity, strength, and long-term vision. The ability to have long-term vision. Choose a system that leads you to sovereignty, not the one that wants to own your mind. This is the game that is being played over and over again on all of us. Remember, we start many of these lives, we talk many of these lives about the system that we are in, understanding this is the main thing. Keep the main thing, period. There's not much more you need to understand or recognize that this is the price of Bitcoin, the national debt of the United States, the largest central bank in the world behind all this. This is the game that's being played on all of us. This debt enslavement system is what is keeping everyone in that hamster wheel. Period. End of story. It does not get more complicated than that. So all the mind games, all of the X articles and pontificators, CNBC, the legacy news, the legacy media, they want you distracted. Remember, the energy narrative, the energy FUD coming for 15 years against Bitcoin is all of a sudden gone at the drop of a hat. Why is that? Why is it? Because big tech, the government, everyone found something to control all this with. AI, that uses limitless amounts of energy, but that's totally fine now. You notice that no one talks about Bitcoin energy FUD anymore because voila, they found something that uses a lot more energy that can actually control you. Bitcoin, they cannot control you. That's a signal and all that. So you want to listen to, gold, random gold bug accounts, or you want to listen to the Steve Hankeys of the world, the guys, Paul Krugman's hopelessly inured in that system. How can a fish see he's wet if he's been in the water his whole life? See, the problem is what they don't understand yet. They haven't lowered their ego enough and raised their humility enough to unlearn what they've been taught and then relearn. That's what most Bitcoiners have done. That's what all Bitcoiners have done. It's not that we woke up one day and we're just given Bitcoin and we're just all of a sudden, I just knew Bitcoin because I woke up one day. It's doing the work. It's putting in the proof of work, not just mining for the Bitcoin, the actual energy that goes into that, but putting the actual education into that, understanding what you own. When you understand what you own, you welcome dips. You welcome headlines like this, that where keep the main thing the main thing. They are going to print massively. If you don't think all assets are going through the roof going forward, you have been living under a rock for a long time. For a long time. We just showed the national debt, the $2,000 stimmy checks. This is the world we are about to enter. The whole point of what I do in the show that we have, the podcast, the live stream, social media that I do, is to keep the main thing the main thing. Do not get caught in prices, in charts, in BS. 15-year car loans, 50-year mortgages, $2,000 stimmy checks. And you're sitting here telling me, oh, Bitcoin's dead. Oh, we're going into a bear cycle. One Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. It's fiat. It's fiat that is being destroyed. If you were saving in the fiat shitcoin 10 years ago, you're down 50%. Think about that. I mean, think about the world we live in. They printed, 50% of the dollars, 40%, 30% of the dollars in the last 5 years alone. That's what people are fighting against. That's the world that people are fighting against at the end of the day. You do not need to sit here and try to figure out what JP Morgan is doing. 100% without a shadow of a doubt, all fiat currencies in human history have failed. Every single one of them. Every single one. 100% failure rate in all fiat government-run currencies. Where do you think this one is going? That's all you have to remember at the end of the day. Here's the debt. Once again, and my bad for not pulling out one that has a longer time horizon. For those of you in Rio Linda, as the famous Rush Limbaugh used to always say, and that we will pull a longer time horizon one so people can see the hockey stick curve that we are about to enter. And people are worried about what's happening to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the hardest computer network known to man. 20 nuclear reactors to run the Bitcoin network. And we're worried about the coordinated attacks. The coordinated attacks have to be talked about because that's what people think about. Again, current events trump future trends. If someone is in the Bitcoin space and they're not talking about Bitcoin in self-custody, they're not talking about putting your stamp seed, putting your seed phrase from your hardware wallet into your stamp seed, your 12-word or your 24-word stamp seed. They are not doing that. You probably should not follow them. You probably should not talk to them anymore. Listen to what they have to say, to read their stuff. This is very simple. Bitcoin-only content, Bitcoin-only products, Bitcoin-only companies. It's about time we start waking up. Could it be because we've been focusing so much on ETFs and BS Wall Street stuff that little hitches in price all of a sudden bring the market cratering down? Is that possibly why? Because we're so focused on price, fiat price. That means nothing. The number go up technology. That will go up. Newsflash, it's at $80,000, $90,000 per Bitcoin. It didn't have a price 15 years ago. Hello, McFly. You just have people out here saying it's going to zero. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Because they haven't done their homework. A seed that can be generated, carried in your head, carried on your titanium stamp seed. And we're sitting over here worrying about what JP Morgan is doing. The reason we're worried about what JP Morgan is doing, and we're worried about what Scott Bessent is doing, and we're worried about what Donald Trump is doing, and we're worried about what Jerome Powell is doing is because we're not living in this world. We're not fully living in this world. We're worried about a couple crypto taxes. We're worried about all these things. We give energy to that existing system. You are what you think about. You are what you live. You are what you talk about. If you think you can, you will. If you think you can't, you won't. It's very simple. There's only a couple percent of the people that fought the American Revolution. Only a couple percent that picked up arms and said, I've had enough. I'm done. I'm putting my seed phrase in titanium and I'm done with this. I'm defunding this corrupt system. This is Wall Street fear and greed is why we have what we have right now. Wall Street fear and greed is why we have a system that this continues to happen, where their greed wants to centralize as much Bitcoin as possible and wants to take fees off of you. And the fear factor is that they think that they are going to lose out because it's a system they can't control. So they need to somehow centralize as much Bitcoin as they can. Well, the great part is the plebs have most of Bitcoin and the nodes run the network, not who has the most Bitcoin. The nodes make the rules. That's the beauty of all this. But you cannot be psyoped, you cannot be hoodwinked into this world thinking that Bitcoin is just another asset. It's just like everything else, it's just another asset in my portfolio. It is a new protocol. It is money outside of the system that we live in. By the way, go to the link in the description, 21% off. Cyber Monday, Black Friday deals, 21% off right now instead of 15% off store-wide. 21% off, code Brandon21. Go get your stamp seeds now, for crying out loud. This is so simple. This is so simple. And it's going to take time. It's going to take time because we choose to continue living in a world that robs from us, in a world that steals from us every day, over and over. We choose to get up, and majority of people choose to live in that world. We choose to do that over and over. So we'll play fiat games. We will get fiat rewards. So MicroStrategy, selling off, Ben selling off. Saylor knows what's going on. There's volatility coming. He's building a cash cushion. Great. Super simple. Keep the main thing the main thing. He has a cash reserve to buy dips, to smooth out some of the volatility, as he said. Fong Lee just talked about this as well on what Bitcoin did. Wall Street misreads it as weakness. And it's actually a position of strength. This signals a volatile Q1, Q2, most likely, before the political liquidity wave arrives. At the same time, we have to understand, Bitcoiners, we understand two things can be true. It's also a honeypot. It's also susceptible. It also can be part of the financial industrial complex, the military industrial complex. It can be part of all these things. We have to understand that. That's why your seed phrase is so important. Generating your seed phrase, putting in a titanium, keeping yourself healthy. Have we lost the thesis, though, like I said earlier, about focusing so much on Wall Street that we forgot to educate the people, forgot to educate the plebs, forgot to keep the main thing the main thing? So it's a question we all have to ask ourselves. Were we here just for a number of what we thought, oh, you know what? Donald Trump wins. Don't have to do anything. Don't have to tend my garden anymore because these guys are going to do all the work for me. David Sachs in the news, talking about the New York Times hit pieces, articles. It's all part of the game. It's all part of the FUD. It's all part of the narrative. It's all this is. You were dealing with people who for 150 years have mastered the art of manipulation and mass formation psychosis. Absolutely mastered it. It's all hot air. That's what government political currencies are. Fiat currencies are hot air. It's all narrative, forward guidance, talking, press conferences. The wizards behind the curtain. Newsflash. So, JP Morgan fudding Bitcoin while they're secretly building structured Bitcoin paper behind the scenes. Public-facing message, Bitcoin risky, unstable, for criminal action behind the scenes, Bitcoin bonds, structured notes, custody derivatives. They want your Bitcoin cheap. That's how Wall Street works. Fear and greed, fear and greed. Classic legacy banking playbook. Attack publicly, accumulate privately. Very simple. This is very simple stuff. We humans tend to overcomplicate all of this. Their actions, not their words, tell the story. Acta non verba, which I believe is the motto of the Merchant Marine Academy. Deeds, not words. Show me what you're doing, not what you're saying. So again, we touched on Powell. Powell's become politically inconvenient. Too late, Powell, as Trump has said. Lower rates equal votes. And Jerome's been sitting there dragging his feet. It doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what we think or what we say. This is what's been happening. This is what Trump's been saying. This is what the machine's been saying. Rumors and signals that Powell will be pushed out, sideline, whatever. Doesn't matter either way. The political cycles always dominate monetary policy in a fiat political world. A new, more dovish Fed head will come in and accelerate cuts, QE, money, currency printing, whatever you want to call it this time. Election year liquidity is practically a law of physics at this point. So Trump cannot be a lame duck. He does not want to be a lame duck. He's got ego. Even though he could be part of the system, he doesn't want to be a lame duck. So he's going to have to juice the economy. This is, again, how it works. This is why a lot of times a 4-year cycle has worked in this manner, because of these liquidity pumps going into elections. Trump needs the economy to be booming. So we're going to have a liquidity flood, lower rates. Bitcoin will benefit. Bitcoin benefits from the liquidity. That Bitcoin benefits the most. It's the only finite asset equal to our finite time and energy. So it will benefit the most. The national debt is the end all be all. Right here, this is the Bitcoin price at the end of the day. That is the price. Remember the video. This is from late 2022, the FDIC meeting of them telling you this is what's going to happen. We are going to bail in your time and energy. So we're going to steal your time and energy from you. We're going to steal the cash right out of your account. We don't believe in the system. We are the people, how many people are there? 10, 15, 20, 30 people sitting around this table. We are here to help the system, quote unquote, and keep people solvent, but we don't even believe in the system. Think about that. FDIC warns of bail-ins to your deposits and says you don't need to know on top of that. You don't need to know. You don't deserve to know. You don't deserve to know, little peasant. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? You spending and toiling away from your time and your family, your friends, your loved ones, giving your time and energy away, and we're just going to take it from you. Act like it never happened. Act like it never existed. You never even spent that time. Sorry. The cycle is incentives, not the ideology. Bitcoin will benefit the most from this chaos because it is the finite asset equally compared to our finite time. You can't get more of your time. So what do you need to keep it in? An equal container, something that's equal to that, something that there can't be more of, can't be more Bitcoin. So I keep my finite time in a container with no hole in it, a perfectly finite asset. It's the only fair trade. If Warren Buffett understood it, or if Charlie Munger had understood it and understood what money was, they would see it as well. But that's the problem. We never stop to ask a question before we can get into battle. See, kids go to school. I'm going to get my MBA. I'm going to go be a lawyer. I'm going to go be a doctor, an investment manager, go into private equity. No one ever stopped to ask, well, why am I doing that? They're doing it because they're chasing more pieces of paper. No one ever stopped to ask, well, what am I working for actually? What does that mean? What is money at the end of the day? So it'd be like going to send your 5-year-old off to get your bulletproof vest, your helmet, get your ammo, get ready. My marksmanship scores, get those up. No one ever asked, hey, why are you preparing my kid when he's 3 years old in government-run school, or 5? Why are you preparing him for an MBA or preparing him for this world, teaching him a bazillion subjects? Why are you giving him a helmet, a bulletproof vest, ammo, cartridges, magazines, everything? No one ever stopped to ask, what is the money? What are you working for? I go to job, save 401k, all this, but no one ever asked what the money was. No one said another way, no one ever stopped to ask, why are we at war? Why am I preparing all of a sudden to go to war? No one asked that. It's just, hey, my parents did it. My grandparents did it. This is what we got to do. That's what has to happen. What better way to rip children away from their parents and from their families? No better way. And go to, instead of a intergenerational, I'll learn from my parents most of the day. Now I'm going to learn from my peers most of the day. I'm going to learn from people who don't have my best interest in heart and quite honestly don't know any more than I do. Again, we are what we give our energy to. What system are you giving your energy to? We are what we think about. Fiat wants you anxious, reactive, independent. Bitcoin demands clarity, discipline, and long-term vision. If you tell yourself you can't do this, you are right. If you tell yourself you can, You're also right. Don't surrender your mind to a dying system. Build sovereignty every single day. Go talk to Bitcoin businesses about Square or Cash App and removing themselves from the 3% fees, instant settlement, getting Bitcoin, keeping no chargebacks, keeping their money, more of their money, and not having it stolen from you through chargebacks, through inflation, whatever it may be. Go support Bitcoin, other Bitcoin only businesses. Your stamp seed, get that description in here below. Code Brandon21 for 21% off at checkout. Special sale just today alone. Go check that out. Put your seed on Titanium so you last generations. This is super simple. Remove the single points of failure. Keep yourself healthy with other amazing Bitcoin only sponsors that are improving the Bitcoin circular economy. So when people ask you and say to you, well, what can I buy in Bitcoin? I can't buy anything in Bitcoin. I can't do this. I can't do that. There's a million things we can do now. Bitcoin denominated life insurance, all built on Bitcoin. People have been asking me about that. The first company to ever do that, makes whole life infinite banking actually possible because you're not using eroding fiat. Go check that out. The link there for the referral code for that in the description. They take, long story short, low cost basis Bitcoin from miners and other whales, and they swap so that the way those whales or miners can use their stepped up basis to get access to cash. They're not paying massive tax bills. So you can look more into that. Incredible businesses, incredible companies. The Orange Pill app, connecting with actual people that think like you. Friends who stack sats. Community is the number one aspect of a survival situation. So Miner, unbelievable people using, again, some of these businesses, a lot of them, you could only spend your sats increasing the circular economy, keep yourself healthy, tallow-based soaps from Soap Miner. Crowd Health, lowering your costs. The only way forward is to self-custody your Bitcoin and to use Bitcoin-only companies and to improve the circular economy. Enough of the time of going in and trying to think Wall Street is going to do everything. Because newsflash, we had just had 80 million people vote for Donald Trump, and we just had all kinds of ETFs, and we had all kinds of companies come into the space, and look what it did, folks. Where are we? Where exactly are we? We are right where we started a year ago. Right, we started a year ago. Think about that. All of the talk and the hot air about this is going to do this. Oh, and again, granted, we're all guilty. I'm guilty of it. You think that, okay, 10, 12, 13, 14 years of education, like, okay, we're at a certain point, and now what's that next phase? Nation states, sovereign wealth funds, 4-year cycles, strategy, Donald Trump, all these things are these the etches, the marks in the system of adoption. And hey, we're going to get to this next point, and now everyone's going to see it. This nation gets it. El Salvador does this, and Donald Trump, oh, the Secretary of State does that thing, and this big person goes and talks in the Middle East about this thing. Eric Trump gets it. Donald Jr., whatever. Okay, what has that gotten us? How come of 80 million people, there weren't 1%, 5%, 10% of Trump's voters who were so diehard Trump, and all of a sudden you start talking about Bitcoin and how great Bitcoin is? No one adopted it. These are real questions we need to ask ourselves. These are the unfun questions that people don't want to talk about. And I think of, again, Thomas Paine, and I always forget and screw it up, but the summer soldiers or sunshine patriots. What are we? Are we winter soldiers, or are we summer patriots? Are we, it's nice and easy, it's fun. It's easy when prices going up. It's easy to, when Wall Street's getting in and they're manipulating everything and they're taking fees off everyone and centralizing the Bitcoin. And we don't, you know what? Some people just aren't going to get it ever. They're just not going to get it. Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's some people that are always going to want government. There's some people that are always going to want dependency. There's always going to be a faction of people that want that. There's going to be a faction of people who need help, whether it's through private charity or whatever. But the majority of people want freedom. This is not hard to figure out. If you can use a phone, for crying out loud, you can figure out how to use your seed, get your seed into Titanium, use the wallets, the hardware wallets. use all the sponsors we have below that support our company, that support our media company. And the other great Bitcoin only podcasts are out there, the other great Bitcoin only companies out there, go use those too. Don't just have to use the ones that we use. There's more and more unbelievable companies coming every single day. That's the beauty of this growth after only 15, 16 years. But it's going to take more of us. It's going to take more of us. Like we said, in the Orange Pill app, again, one of our sponsors, going to find other like-minded people. If you're feeling lonely, like there's not a lot of people that think like you in the area, go on the Club Orange, or it was the Orange Pill app, go find people around you. But there are not even 20,000 people on the Orange Pill app yet. They've been out for a few years, but that goes to show you how few people there are that think like us. This is not, if you don't tend your garden, this is not going to educate itself necessarily. People have to know about what it is. The word has to be shared with other people. The education has to be done. The work has to be put in. The learning has to happen. George Washington didn't cross the Delaware for no reason. He didn't, you know what? King said, we can't do it, guys. Hey, guys, can't do it. Can't do it. But King said no freedom. Ixnay on the freedom thing. No. He got in the boat. He got in the boat and he went across in the middle of the night, freezing his you know what off with his boys, and he said, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. So what's it going to be, folks? What's it going to be? We're going to put in the work, the peaceful revolution, or are we going to have a little bit of that enslavement? What's it going to be? The time that tribe men souls. Kyram, what's up? Sailor Bitcoins? Bitcoin. I like that. All the way. All the whale assets are important. Din Din? Or Din Dun? I know a Din Din too. Is that you? Din Din, is that you? Well, this is Din Dun. Brandon's been killing it. Keep doing the thing. Loving the pod. Thanks. Appreciate it, guys. Neil. We want all-time highs. I didn't say anything about in what terms. Yeah, exactly. Want all-time high slavery, or what are we doing here? I appreciate you guys joining. I really do. I know Jack's getting going, so I'm sure a lot of you are over there or going over there. We did a pretty good job of not being butting up against his, but not running over his too much. So it's great to see everybody. But again, we are the change. We are the change that we want to see. The coordinated crash intensifies. It's only going to intensify. Be your own king. Let's go. I can't see, for some reason, Din, I can't see a bunch of the emojis like show up as text. I don't know why. I don't know if it's showing up on your guys' end like that or what's going on there. But anyway, that's weird. I don't know why it's doing that. Also, I think this is on Twitter as well. I'm trying to stream into a bunch of the different platforms, but it's saying it's only on Rumble and no one's watching on Rumble, but everyone's on. It says all of them are streaming, but it doesn't even show up as Twitter is nothing. There's just not even showing in the stream. And then Rumble, it says none. And then for YouTube, it says everyone's on YouTube. So I have no idea what's going on this clown world. So we can't get as I think it was Simon Dixon or somebody says we have freedom of speech, but not freedom of reach. And boy, if that wasn't true. I should dress like Taylor Swift or something like that. If I dressed like Taylor Swift and I call myself Taylor Swift, then if I identified as her, then I'd probably be able to get like millions and millions of people to reach instantaneously. It would just like, boom. Yeah, dude, you're out to everybody. Like, let's go. So this goes back to the 3%, the couple percent of people that are going to be pulling the rest of humanity across the finish line, come hell or high water. So I appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, the YouTube emojis. I don't know why. I don't know why the YouTube emojis. Some of them work, some of them don't now. Any month now, we'll get a bounce in price. Yeah, exactly. Any year now, we'll get a bounce in price. So it'll be good. And but again, I don't know. What do you guys think? Like the last year and a half, I think I know what Neil thinks already. But there's what adoption has happened since the ETFs have come in. What adoptions happened since JP Morgan's flooding everything and building all their stuff in the back end? What adoptions happened since so-and-so nation states come on, or Bhutan's mining or something like that? We're at a weird inflection point right now. So the soundest money on earth, really the first money, in my humble opinion, that we've ever had as human beings. Or do humans want it? Do humans want it? Do humans think they are worthy of a beautiful money like Bitcoin? Yeah, Daniel. I do love that though, Richard. It's amazing. Any month now, any year now, any decade now, we'll get a pop in price. So hey, zoom out. There has been adoption, obviously, and the price has gone up a lot in fiat terms, in nominal fiat terms over the last 15 years. So it's happened actually very quickly when you zoom out. Daniel, yeah, I mean, self-custody is everything. And this is something that with all the centralization talk and all the FUD going on and all the MicroStrategy and the different treasury companies and the JP Morgan stuff going on, and people can buy in their 401ks and whatever it is, Bitcoin in self-custody is the jam. That is it. Generate a seed phrase. Get a hardware wallet. You know, we have the foundation. It's one of our sponsors. Again, links to everything below. Get money off of all these, sats off and all these by for getting them and supporting the show below. What does Jake Paul say, by the way? There's always says something like, you know, smash the merch or buy the merch. I got to figure out his I'm going to steal his line. Good old Jake Paul. I remember like 10 years ago, they had something. But this seed phrase, what orange pilled me more than one of the things more than anything was that you could take your seed phrase, whether it's physically in titanium, and then you could carry this anywhere, you could store it anywhere, and it defeats nuclear war, fire, shooting hockey pucks at it, whatever. But it also, you could have that 12 words or your 24 words in your head, and you could walk around the earth with that in your head, or you could go interplanetary or wherever, whatever it is. And that, to me, that and the log chart of Bitcoin were game changers for me 10 years ago. Just understanding that your cold storage wallet, which takes a few minutes to set up, takes a few minutes to set this up, literally like less than 5 minutes, I think it took me to set this up. And that can generate a seed phrase that you put here or you memorize in your head, and everything changes. You have that. Now you can become ungovernable. That, I mean, it's important just if you're keeping your wealth, number one, but maybe more important is you not being someone that has to live in the hamster wheel, in the sense of you're not getting bent over the barrel by incentives of the state and them saying, hey, you need to jam something in your body that you don't want in your body, or your pay because your paycheck depends on it. Or, hey, if you don't do X, Y, and Z, we're going to freeze your brokerage account. If you don't do X, Y, and Z, we're going to freeze your bank accounts. And again, we've seen this. I just shared this. I'll try to share it again. This is from a couple of years ago. They are telling you, we will freeze your bank accounts. This absolutely is going to happen. We're telling you right now, out in the open, this will happen. We are going to freeze your stuff. It happened in Cyprus. It's happened many times. It will happen in America. It happens in America on a slow scale, right? Through inflation, through just normal debasement. So we have a world where they are telling you the quiet part aloud, and then they're just telling you explicitly out loud, hey, we're going to steal your time and energy. We're going to steal your assets. We're going to steal your money. So you better get prepared. So self-custody is you spending a few minutes to invest in your future, your generational wealth, and your time and energy, more importantly, your generational time and energy, so you can get it back, get off the hamster wheel, and then you're not then incentivized to do things that go against your morals, go against your intellectual prowess. You're not going against what you know to be true because you are not susceptible to the fiat government currency hot air. You are not susceptible to that. And that's what's important at the end of the day. It's not being a serf of the state. So I appreciate you guys a ton. Been going for longer than I was planning on going. So we'll probably do another one tomorrow, starting December 1st. I cannot believe it's December 1st. But the self-custody is the revolution. It is everything. It is how we remove ourselves from the fiat system. So go get your Passport Core, spend a couple minutes doing that, put it in your stamp seed, 12 or 24 words. You'll check out the links below to support the show. We appreciate it greatly. I appreciate it because we're supporting the circular economy. Help people use Cash App. Help people indoctrinate or indoc themselves. Help people, businesses get set up. That could be a business. Shoot, there's businesses it might exist. I don't know if Bitcoin Mentor, BTC Sessions, if that's something they do, but like Bitcoiners can have businesses going around and helping other businesses set up a way you can keep more of your money. Hey, no chargebacks. Hey, no 3% charges because of credit card fees. Like all these incentives just for businesses alone, helping people set up, orange pill them, and set that stuff up. So there's so many things that are coming because of that. But again, the businesses that are will be there or can be set up because of that is limitless. So I self-custody everything. And I'll give you a quick, I was a real estate guy for 10 years, and you cannot bring your real estate. You have risk just by owning real estate in certain jurisdictions or in all jurisdictions through property taxes, through zoning, through the governance, whatever it is. Bitcoin renders all that moot, and that Bitcoin is going to account for everything in the system. Doesn't mean real estate's going to go away. Doesn't mean art's going to go away. All these things are going to go away. It's just going to be accounted for. It's going to be repriced. So appreciate you guys. Great to see all of you. Go check out the Peter Dunworth podcast we just had. We published it yesterday. So we're getting a lot of great feedback on that. It's got 10, 12, I don't know, 10 or 11,000, 11 or 12,000 views right now already. So I thank you guys for watching that and giving all the great feedback. Peter's an awesome guy. And ask him about some of this stuff, what they're building. But we're going to win because we're going to find the people that think like this. End of story. So go check that podcast out here. We'll see you on the live stream tomorrow. We also have Seb Bunny and Joe Consorti coming this week as well. We'll have Mr. Neil's pod as well soon, probably the next week or so as well. So that's going to be an incredible one. I've got his book around here somewhere. So I appreciate all you guys. Check out those pods. We'll see you live show tomorrow. And then let me know what else you guys would like us to cover. But again, at the end of the day, keep the main thing the main thing. That's all that matters. Literally all that matters. Educate someone, help them how to run a node, help them to self-custody, circular economy. Links in the descriptions for supporting Bitcoin only businesses and people that are supporting freedom and liberty. It's the time